Well, it'd be a good idea that in the beginning of every session that we read maybe one letter from Alim Trufa. The letters of Nosson. And this will continue with Hashem. We'll start here today. This is the letter. No, we will, yeah. This is the letter that the Rebbe wrote from, well, when he was in Austria, to all our people to daven for him. Because he was very sick and he asked people to daven for him, and then he became better. And the Am Ben Lilach and Hashem for Shlomo, the shir should be for him, and for the health of Karen and Selma, Bas Florence Fege, Oded Ben Chana, all the wounded, all those who are sick. Everybody should be healthy, with all the medical procedures they're going through, especially Ari Ben Dina. That's Lipa Ari Ben Dina. Also, and also Sonia, Sonia, everybody. Okay. So then Rabbeinu Hashem became better, and he came home. He said that Anash, they are the one who actually accomplished it with the tefillah, that he became better. And he said, to my good friend, my liebe friends, to my good beloved friends, Shutofim and Aovim v'Neimim, the beloved and pleasant partners. I'm asking you very much that you should give my wife 100 golden coins, or whatever it means, because I need much money for the expenses, because the expenses here are very great, and not like the people, the person who's giving you this letter will tell you, and he says, I'm not talking dafka double, but 4 times that much, because I don't even have 1 penny. And I'm asking you very much, Rabbi Moshe, the son of Rabbi Yisrael, together with Moshe ben Henya, to send to me the money immediately. Mr. Hashem, I will come to my house and I will settle the accounts with you, Mr. Hashem. That's what you want. And I'm doubling and tripling what I'm telling you now, not to do any other way, but send this 100 golden red coins that I gilded that I'm telling you. And also, hurry up my wife that she should travel immediately. And also to tell my friend, Rav Nosson from Nemiov and all Anash, as a family, you got better, that should ask Kodesh Baruch Hu to send me a refuah shleima, and about the illness that I have, I don't want to write, so, not to make so that the Gemara says that the luck shouldn't be worse. Just let them ask for me, Kodesh Baruch Hu send me for a shleima about the illness. I'm not saying that, just daven for me every single tefillah. Please do not forget all the good that I did with each and one of you until now. Zat Hashem, maybe Kodesh Baruch will give you refuah, you can get more goodness from me, Be'ezer Hashem. I'm asking very much for you to beg for my wretched neshama, to ask Kavonas Halev, Rabbi Mechavan, and remember each one of you, how did I find you when I come to Breslov, how much koiches I've invested spiritually and physically that I've invested in you, and it's only Yoshev, now you should ask for me from Hashem Yisborach that you make me well. Also, Hashem Limayam Zivur. Also, please hurry up my wife, let her travel, because Eshik Nurim and Limtzoy, it's a very precious thing. Person's wife, especially, this is just great expenses. And also, I want to ask from you that not one of you should dare come to where I am. It's Hashem, I will come back. Up to here, the words of me who loves you, each and every one of you, with all my heart. Nachman, Rav Simcha, Hashem should grace him, and please give regards to all Sheshamenu. And again, I'm doubling and hurrying up each and every one of you to hurry my wife to travel quickly and tell her not to tell the children anything from that.
Not to tell the children?
Yeah.
That was his first wife.
Yeah. And then he wrote another letter. Okay. So,
why did you say wretched soul? What is it?
Nafshi Aluva. As he speaks about himself. Yeah, he said about himself. You know, my Nebuchadnezzar soul, So we said that everyone from Israel has a Pchinas Malchus, and this Pchinas Malchus is both Visgalia and Viskasia, and it's not a symmetrical thing. How many people you are actually have Malchus on, that you have the authority on. Visgalia doesn't have to match those of Viskasia, and it says that there is one who is talking about Tzaddik Hadron that can be Visgalia. It seems like it doesn't have any authority. Nobody listens to him. All of us, almost nobody listens to him. But really, Viskasia, the Elam Godel, he's ruling over the entire world. Even Tzaddik Hadron are under him. Nobody knows that. Then we said that what is the reason that every person has a certain degree of adnus, of authority? What's it for? So we said that the reason why a person was given authority is to bring people closer to Kodesh Baruch. People, person in your own household, even though it may seem to you that in your own household, sometimes it may seem that, my wife is wearing the pants in the house, and every single word that I say, they say, in quantum physics, they say that this famous question, if a tree falls in the forest, nobody hears it, does it make a sound? That's a famous quantum physics question. So we're asking a different thing. If a man says something in the forest, and his wife is not with him, is it still wrong?
Who are you talking to?
But even then, you notice that it may be in the daily give and take between a person and his wife, that the wife may be argumentative, but when the relationship is Baruch Hashem, plus minus normal, basically you're running the show. You have the degree of Yiddishkeit that the house needs to go, and you're going the direction. It's usually the man has the authority, even though it may seem that everything you can't say right can be right even for a second with the wife. It doesn't matter. You are still many times you can see that you're basically running the show. The main thing is spiritually, because every single person was given this authority, and this authority is a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing because position of authority is decimating the life of the one that in the position of authority. He's making it shorter. And it says, that's what Chazal said in Psachim, Arabonus Mekaberes Be'aleh. And we see that Yosef HaTzadik, he was a melech. He was the one that lived from all the Shvatim, from all the Shivtei Yisrael. He lived only for 110 years. He was the one that lived the shortest of all the Shvatim. So the Gemara says in Brachas, why did he live the shortest? Because he was Noeg Rabbonos with his brothers. So comes the question, why? He was a melech. What do you mean? So I think the Maharsha says, that he commanded his brothers. He told them, he blamed them, you're spies, you're not, whatever it is. This is something he needs. He did because it was needed. It's not something that he was just like haphazardly, just doing because he felt like it. The Maharsha explains that he was Noeg Rabbonos is actually talking about when they didn't know that he was Yosef. And he asked them about Yaakov Avinu. So for 5 times, they said to him the words, Avdecho Avinu, our father, your slave. And the translator, because he didn't want them to know that he understood, it was Kurdish. So the translator repeated it, 5 times, our father, your slave, but Yaakov Avinu. And Yosef did not stop them and didn't tell him, your father's not my slave. But he heard it and he let it go. Because that is the 10 times that for each time that they said, and the translator translated it, the words, your slave, our father, and Yosef Avinu was not, did not protest. That's called that he was Noeg Rabbonos for his brothers, and 10 years were deducted from his life. That 10 years younger than all the other Shvatim. So Rabbeinu says every single person needs to inject longevity into his life, into his malchus, into his authority. Because position of authority, by its very nature, shortens the life of a person. How do you do it? way you do it is by you're carving people to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Those that are under you, bring closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. With this, you're injecting longevity into your malchus. So each one, according to this malchus, he is like a scout. You know, that he's watching, and he's supposed to tell the people, you know, that listen to him, that are under him, that they need to go with their chayosh and straight and narrow. If he does that, then he's fulfilling his duty and he's infusing his authorities, with malchus, with longevity. That's up to them. If they choose not to listen to him, they'll be punished. But he himself was saved. But if a person, let's say a person doesn't use the malchus, you know, as a tool to get people to do what he wants, but he uses it only to bring people closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But let's say that the person does not abuse his authority, but he's saying, you know something, get me out of it. I don't want to have anything to do with this. You know, I'm not abusing my authority, my malchus, and I'm not, you know, I don't want to be misasik with them and get myself argue with them. Just leave me alone. I don't want anything to do with that. Person does that. So Kodesh Baruch Hu says, he says to Yechezkel, they will be punished because they are the one who sinned. But he says, but from you, he says, there's a punishment on the one that is that you know, when has gone ahead and just stopped and did not bother, you know, to warn the people that are under him. This is called the bonus mekabez be'aleh. You have to see, you have to inject malchus, longevity into your malchus. Then you have longevity, don't do it then. So Beno says, how can you do this? How can you admonish them? How can you guide anybody that is, you know, under your malchus? First of all, you may not even know what they need. You know, we think that we know one another, but we don't know what's going on inside them. Like nobody doesn't know what goes inside ourselves. It's very difficult to know what everybody knows or everybody needs. That's one difficulty. Secondly, you also don't know how to admonish them, how to guide them, how to keep them on the straight and narrow. And even bigger problem, all those who are under you, or their neshamas, under, you know, you are the root of their neshama. The highest is to come through you. But we discuss you, we don't know who they are. They are not by you. It can be somebody in nowhere. In Oman, I heard there's somebody came Rosh Hashanah, the first day, and he saw me in DRI, Personal Institute. Person I've never seen in my life. Says, Rabbi Grundman, hello, and this and that, how are you? But I really felt uncomfortable because that was there. It's like,
I'm having some.
yeah, like what's? So he said, I'm watching these children on YouTube. He says this is from France, from Strasbourg. And he said that these children changed his life completely. We're sitting here eating popcorn, drinking Coke, and there's somebody, and then somebody else told me that he's watching them, and he lives in Hungary, and he watches them, and he has other people that he knows, that, or one person that he knows, that I don't remember if it's in Peru or in New Zealand. He's watching these shurim that we have over here. Who knew, right? Who knew? Gave you know, I'm gonna say like a. How do you know? How you don't know? You don't even know who they are. So how do you know? I mean, you need to inject longevity into your authority, but you only do this if you're actually doing what you need to do. You know, if you bring them closer. If A, you don't know how to do it, you don't know what they need. A, and B, you don't even know who they are. How can you do it? It's a big kasha, right? Then it says that to do this, you do it through the das. You acquire das. And the das is already taking care of whatever it is that needs to be done. The das is the shorish of the chaim, as the Olam says about a person that in Hebrew it says a very common sense. The person doesn't have a das from his life because the das amitis is coming from the true longevity. So that doesn't know from his life, meaning that he is lacking the das that comes from the bechina of Chaim. The Rebbeinu says, how can you, to come to this das? The Rebbeinu says, okay, you need a das, fine. How do you come to this das? When you're alone, when you go to university, how do you do? You take a self-help course. What do? You watch how-to videos on YouTube. What do you do? When it says that the das is also comes from life. You need to get life. That life you get from das. How do you get this das? Also from life. So wait, time out. You need to get life. Life you get from das. It doesn't get from life. What are you talking about? Life, longevity, chayas, vitality, life force. You need to inject longevity, and you get this from the das, and the das emanates from Chaim. What are we talking about? Now Rabbeinu explains what kind of Chaim are we talking about. That second Chaim I'm talking about. That becomes das, and that das gives longevity to your malchus. The way to come to longevity, to lengthen your days, to fill them with life, is through the Esek Torah. You learn Torah, you're studying Torah, the Esek with it. In other words, the Torah should be your business. Of course, you may do many different things in order to sustain yourself. But the main thing you need to do is Esek Torah. The Torah should be your business. I remember in Yeshiva, many years ago, Yeshiva said, it says, Kva iti mutar. That the said, Torascho Kva, make your Torah your mainstay, your kviz, Malachtecho ara, and your malacha should be, secondary. But he says, but for many people, it's really not realistic, right? Where itself says many people did. Shimon Yochai was part from davening because he was learning nonstop. So the Gemara itself says already that Arbei Asuk Shimon Yochai, Allah also learned, and they weren't successful. Very few people can be only Torah and nothing else. So Rosh Hashiva said, it doesn't mean that the most of your time should be invested in Torah. If you can, but is good. But even if you can't, the question is, what is the main thing? And what is the secondary thing? If the main thing is learning Torah, the malacha is what you do either before you learn or after you learn. The main thing is the learning. The kva is the learning. The arai is whatever it is you need to do, before, after, whatever, but the malacha is not the main thing. The Torah is the main thing. That's pshat, it's a Torah kva. That should be basic. So the question is, how does it help? Okay, so you're asking about Torah. How does it help with this thing you're talking about? So the Rebbe brings here that in Tikkun Zohar, it says something very special. It says, Ki oraiso shma dekut shabich. Torah, every letter of the Torah is the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has many names. The Shmos Kodesh, but it's not just the Shmos Kodesh, Havaya, Elokim, Adnei, not just those. Every single word of the Torah is actually the name of Kodesh Baruch. So, if there are 600,000 letters in the Torah, Baruch Hu has, as it were, 600,000 names. Every single letter. Am Yisrael has 600,000 people. Every single person is a letter of the Torah. Every single person is a Raisa. That's what the Gemara says. A Raisa, I think it says, the Gemara says. The Torah, so, Kadosh Baruch Hu are one thing. They're all one entity. So, Raisa Shema Dekot Shabbat. Rabbeinu says, obviously, Kadosh Baruch Hu is the source of life. It's Chai Chai. You need to call somebody. You're calling him by name. When you want somebody to bring something over, you don't have to grab him by the ear, bring him over. You call him by his name. When you have to Chai Chaim, and you have to call HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If the Lamshich Mimenu Chai, in order to draw from him life force and longevity, Tzrichim Likros Oisa Bishmo Kaviyacham. You have to, as it were, call him by his name. Ushmo Torah Kana. And the Torah is his name. So what is found here, Nimtzo, by learning Torah, Korin es arichos yomim, you're calling, you're summoning the longevity. Rabbeinu says, that's the reason why Muzar HaMelech, the Melech Yisrael, is warned more than anybody else. That he's warned on the Esek HaTorah, that the Torah says he has to learn more than anybody. More than anybody in the world. Why? Because he has to summon the longevity into his authority. He has to learn Torah. Every Yid has authority. Every Yid has to draw life force into his malchus. Melech Yisrael, he's melech all over everybody, which means he's under the danger of Rabbanus Mekaberes Baalei more than anybody else. That's why he has to learn Torah more diligently than anybody. So you have a das, he'll be able to admonish everybody. People listen to the king. So Chas v'Chalila, he should not be punished for them. It says, Rabbeinu says, Shekasa Pashas HaMelech, and this is what the Torah says, the Sefer Dvarim, Pashas HaMelech, the following words. V'hoisu imoy, and it would be with him. We're talking here, Sefer Torah. The Melech has to have a special Sefer Torah that follows. He has two Sefer Torah, and one of them has to go with him wherever he goes. And the Torah, Sefer Torah will be with the Melech. The Korah boy, and he will read in it, Kol Yemei Chayav, he will read in it all the days of his life. The man Yarich Yamim Amalachta, so he will live long over his Malchus. So over here, first of all, we see that the reason why the king has to learn Torah is in order to bring Arichus Yomim into his Malchus. But over here, the Korah boy has two meanings. It's one is the Korah boy that you should read in the Sefer Torah. No, Kriya Torah, reading the Torah. But also Kriya when you're calling somebody, when you summon somebody, the Korah. So on one hand, the Korah you should study Torah all the days of your life. But beyond that, there's also that through the learning of the Torah, by learning Torah, he's summoning the longevity into his mouth. The Torah is the tool. The Korah boy, Daika, I know. The Esek Torah, by learning Torah, you're summoning the life itself from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yemei Chayav. Yemei Chayav Daika. We just said Chayav. Why Yemei Chayav? Why is the word Yemei, the days of his life? Why is it important? Why did the Torah that doesn't have even one word which is not essential? So why the Torah says V'kara boy kol yemei chayav, all the days of his life, all his life already, the days are already included in it, right? So it says yemei chayav. Why is it mentioned? It says as follows: Kablim esachayos, when you are receiving life force, tzorich lekabel mamido, you have to receive it. It has to be parceled out, in pieces. Shouldn't be too much. When you receive life force, you have to receive it when it's already constricted to your ability to receive it. You have to have the kalim to receive it. But without a midah, without measurement and constriction, it is not possible to receive life force from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Why? Because it's too much ore. It's too much light. It's like you can't see the sun. You look at the sun, the person will get blinded because the light is too big. Because the abundance of oil causes the candle to lash out. Take a little candle, take a whole bucket of oil, spill it on the candle. No, the candle uses oil, burn a lot. What happens? Washes out. Because it doesn't have, it's too much. It's more than the ability, the capacity of the candle, just give it too much, it burns, flashes out. That's why you have to receive the chayos measured, in a measured manner. Not too much, not too little. This is what you accomplish by learning Torah. It's a very difficult thing. Ki Torah, we said before, the Torah is the name of Kodesh Baruch Hu, right? The Hashem, the name, or Kli Shel Adonai. The name is the keli, the container that contains whatever it is that you're talking about. When you're calling a person, okay? You want to call me? Yo, our princess. Yeah, what? What you want? Hey. When you call her a princess, all my mahus, all my nefesh is enclosed in it. When you call my name, it pulls me to you. The name is the keli of everything. There's a very, very interesting concept here. When you look at the way that we use language, all language is used, all our life, all our communication, all our interactions are used with names. Every single word that we use is actually a name that describes that particular thing. Walk, walking is a name of how a person moves in the streets, putting one foot in front of the other. When you're saying coming, that's the name of somebody that's coming from somewhere else. But here, when you're saying 2:00, that's the name of a certain time. When you're saying meeting, you're saying like two people or two things coming together that were not together before, they're coming together. It's the name of this action. When you say the rest of the shul, that's the name of a place. So when we communicate, we are putting one name after the other that says, let's meet in the breast of shul at 2:00. Let's, it's a name. Meet is a name. At the breast of shul, at, is what I'm going to tell you, breast of shul, it's a place, the name of the place. At 2:00, it's another, the name of the time. We need a shame, a name, a name, a name, and a name. And altogether, you have a communication where we have two people that are totally separate. And there's a communication, and we can actually meet the rest of shul at 2:00. Communication in life wouldn't be possible without the name. The name is the keli of the essence that we're trying to express. When you say meet, that's the keli of let's get together. In the rest of the shul, that's the name of that place. It's the keli for the essence itself. This is a very, very, very deep concept. And the name is, on one hand, is the thing that enables all communication. On the other hand, it is the thing that enables people to lie to one another and to deceive one another. We can see it very, very abundantly in the Sefer of Ben HaMelech, Ben Shivcha, story. Exchange children. One was a real Ben Melech. The other was a really Ben Shivcha. But when their names changed, they treated the son of the Shifcha as if it was the real prince. And the Ben HaMelech is treated as a Ben HaShifcha. Why? Because he had that name. The name is the thing that enables us to communicate. And the name is also the thing that enables us to deceive, to get things wrong. That's why in that Sipur Maisis, in that Maisa, with the Kshen children, when they were in the house of, if you remember the story of the men of the forest, and they asked them why, towards the end of the day, there's this laughter all over the world, then becomes day. So they asked him, what is this? They thought it was maybe it was demons, whatever. So the tzaddik, the men of the forest, tells them, no, that's the night asks the day, why when you arrive, I don't have a name anymore. And the day is laughing and it becomes daylight. That's what it says in the story. What is going on? The time of night, the time of the Lavon, the time of the moon, it's not total darkness. It's a little light. You ever noticed that when the light is really dim, you don't see really well. You see somebody, but you don't really see them that well. So a person that is, so sometimes in the darkness can look very, very handsome because you don't see everything. But then suddenly, the light goes on. Oh, you see, it's not so perfect, whatever. Because before you only saw certain details. The rest you filled up with your imagination. You liked a little bit, you liked it. There was a picture in your mind. Once the light is on, you see it person itself, you know exactly what it looks like. The time of night is a time where Shem, name, as in the darkness, when there's no other way to communicate, you're using Shemus, you're using names. Let's meet at the rest of the show at 2:30. But when the light is on, when we end the rest of the show, whatever time it is, we're already together. Everything is happening. It's like when a person gets into a very dim room, he can bang into the closet, he can trip over things. He has 1,001 problems. Why? Because he cannot see very well what's going on there. You go into a dark room until your eyes get used to it. You can't see, you don't see something, you trip over something, whatever. So you have a lot of problems. How do you navigate your way through the room? What happens when you flip on the light switch? All your problems disappear. Right? Because you can see everything. That is the secret of the name. So we said that the letters of the Torah, the words of the Torah, are the names of Kodesh Baruch Hu, and you have to receive the life force from Kodesh Baruch Hu in measured quantities. The Torah's name of Kodesh Baruch Hu, the name is the keli of that, it's the vessel of that thing. Hashem hazeh, that in this particular name, nigba l'chiyus shel hadavar hazeh. The name of whatever it is that you're calling out encapsulates the life force of whatever it is that you're calling, whatever it is that you're referring to. As it is said, the nefesh chaya hushmo, the nefesh chaya, the living soul of anything is his name. Sheba'Hashem nigbal nefesh v'achashu kol davar. In the name of everything, it is encapsulated the nefesh and the life force of every single thing that exists. Rabbeinu says that that's the reason, Balken, when you call a person by his name, he immediately comes to you. Because sometimes you can shake a person who's asleep. You shake him, try to wake him up. He doesn't wake up. You call him by his name. What? Immediately say, because the name is the nefesh. Hashem, in the name, nigbal kol nefesh v'achiyus. Nefesh is encapsulated in it. The life force encapsulated in it. And that's the reason why. The Chen, HaTorah, the Torah is the name of Kodesh Baruch Hu. The Torah, in its utmost, the uppermost root, the spiritual root, is the Keli, Shesham Nigbal Chayus V'Chayachayim. That is the Keli, the pail, the vessel that encapsulates the life force from HaKadosh Baruch Hu that is the essence of life. Now see something beautiful. The Torah, the entire Torah is midos, is measurements. And now the measurements, and now the measurements, and now the measurements. Torah exists, oisius, the Torah has letters. V'tevas, it has words. Upsukim, it has verses. Upashas, it has pashas. And Zdarim, the different Zdarim. And Sfarim, there's an entire sefer. Each one, we're just looking at it as like, okay, that's what the Torah is built on. But each word of each letter of the Torah is a minuscule, as it were, Keli Fachayas. Every word is a bigger Keli Fachayas. It's maybe, I don't know, it's like Vespa, moped. Okay. Oh, pasuk. It's a subcompact. Okay. Pasha is already like a limo. Okay. Oh, they have like a truck. Big and big and big. So you get the Torah is divided to different kind of growing number of vessels. Each one of them is a measurement. Each one is a measure, a specific quantity. This is where the longevity is encapsulated in a specific amount, no more, no less. This is why that through Torah, through learning Torah, which is the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Torah, that's why you can receive life force through the Torah. Then you're calling the life, and you're pulling in longevity into the midos, into those measurements. What is a day? A day is a measurement of life. A year is a measurement of life. An hour is a measurement of life. But the basic measurement of a person's life is days. Every day is a measurement. And it says, these are the measurements, these are the kalim. And the measurement of my days, mahi. So we read up Pshat is mahi means what is it? What is the measurement? Now the question here is, David the Melech says, like, how long shall I live? Mahi. What is the midah of my days? How many days? What's a quantity of days that I will live? But even here reveals a much deeper understanding in it. The Torah itself, which is called Ma. The Torah is called Ma. How do we know? In Dvarim it says, Ma ha'edus v'achokim ha'mishpatim. What? It's the edus and the chokim ha'mishpatim. The Torah, which is the edus and chokim ha'mishpatim, is called Ma. This is how you call the chiyus into the days. Without it, it's not possible to receive longevity life force because the light is too big. This is how you call through Torah, you're calling in the life from the Chai Chaim, you're calling you into the days, into your midos. Like this, you don't receive too much, force in one time, and you can exist. It's like when somebody, a diver, they dive very, very deeply, cannot come up too quickly. Right? It gets the bends. It has to be in mida. Yeah? Weight, decompress. Has to be b'mida. If you use too much, it can be. One of the important nekudas about this is we feel many times that we didn't really learn Torah. How much later I learn? I hear Daf Yomi, I don't know, whatever, Shia, whatever. I learned the Mishnah, I said the Pasuk, what's the big deal? I'm just like, I can't say this is learning Torah. Rabbeinu says here differently. Every single letter of Torah that you learn is a midah. It's a full, encapsulated capsule of life. But he says this is why you need to learn, out loud. Why could you learn, just reading? We'll learn this next week about it. But the main nekuda is that if you realize that every single word is a capsule of eternal life, we look at things, that's not called Torah. Come on, man. It's not called learning. Who you think you're kidding? That's not learning. You got a few hours. You have to learn Gemara with the Mefarshim, with Tosfos, and with Rashi, and with the Rosh, with the Rif, the Ritva, the Rishonim, the Achronim. That's called learning. And that is learning, and Shus Effect. But that kind of perfectionism is causing people to look down upon the learning that they're doing. Come on. Comparing me to these are people, these are pros. Now learning, that's called learning. It's called learning, that's not called learning, it's nothing. Everything is Prinus life. And Prinus life, and it's not just life, it's a forever life. There was a very, very great Breslover tzaddik about the middle to second half of the 19th century. His name was Rabbi Nachman of Cherin. He was a Rav, called Cherin Rav. It was going on. It's unbelievable. By the end of his life, he was paralyzed. His entire body was paralyzed. And they had, an aide, a worker that helped dealing with him. Now this aide was a coarse person. Schlepped him, like a little bit, like as if it was a piece of wood. So he told him, if you don't believe me, I became cheap by you. What do you think of a piece of wood? But he told the rest of the Hasidim, he says, you probably think that maybe you shouldn't daven for me, I should live. But look at him. He's suffering so much, and he's paralyzed, and whatever it is. So maybe it's better we don't daven for him, that he should live, he's suffering, whatever it is, just, He says, Chas v'shalom. So every single breath that a Jew draws in this while he's still alive is kula lakus, is kula kodesh. You cannot put into measurement another instant. So what does it mean that the Jew is alive? Single breath. It is so impossible to appreciate what you are. You seem to know who you are. Man, I don't know me. It's a big deal. I don't know, but you don't know what you are. You're a Jew. You are learning the Torah. Every single word that you learn is infinity. Yeah, it's a small little part of infinity, but if you divide infinity, any part is infinite, right? Mathematically, that's the way it is. But Hashem should help us with Hashem. By getting the Pasha Spara, right? That's Hashem. From Purim, from Spara. Very, very, very deep in Yonim. Pardinim going on to Sabino. The 5 Vuras in the Bino, that's Para, the hay. Hashem should help us without Hashem. To see great Yeshuas, a great Nisim. Everybody, everybody is a maven. It's America. America is this, America is that, America is this, America is that. What do you expect from them? A goy blat a goy. What did you ever think that he will ever do anything that is not good for him? What do you expect him to be most nefesh for you? He'll do whatever works for him. But he is not the one who calls the shots. It's Baruch who calls the shots. Bezat Hashem, Baruch Hu Yazor, we will see great miracles. We have Chodesh Nisan, Nisan Nigalu, Nisan Am Yisrael was redeemed. But Nisan Asidim Leigol, Bezat Hashem Nisan, we will be redeemed again. B'meira Aminu B'korev Mamash. Kol Tov, Shabbos. And stop.